Welcome to another episode of Hoops and Healing, where we talk hoops and we talk healing. I am your host, Amanda Hoy. Sometimes these two topics will blend together, and sometimes they'll be treated as separate topics because sports are healing, and healing is a sport. Let's get into it.
I'm here with Nia Robinson. Nia is the social media manager and creative strategist for the Chicago Sky. She's also a local born and raised Chicago legend. Thank you for joining me, Nia.
Chicago legend, that threw me off. Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. So I always like to start off with some warm-up questions to get started.
Cool.
Who is your favorite WNBA player right now and why?
My favorite WNBA player. And it's so hard because obviously I'm biased being at the Sky. I just love our team generally. And I know it sounds like a PR response, but I don't laugh at me. No, I mean, I've just really appreciated getting to know them and just see them do their thing. And I just take a lot of inspiration. Obviously, you know, we've had a challenging season, but I just really respect all of them. Obviously, like Mick and Ewell and Rachel and Ariel, I feel like I talk to them the most, or I interact with them the most. And I'm very grateful that they're on our team.
Yeah, you kind of get to see a different level working on the business side behind the scenes. You get to see a different part of them, which is really cool. I will say I have seen Elizabeth Williams just kind of like around. Last season she was injured.
Yeah.
So I feel like she was doing a little bit more like event stuff. And I really liked her energy. She seemed really, really kind and really,
she's really sweet.
Yeah.
And I think when I think of her specifically, I am always reminded to keep my cool in every situation. And I think that's something that's been at the back of my head. And I think it was one of the press conferences that another player mentioned that. And I can't remember at all, but when I think of Ewell, something that helps is, you know.
She does have very calm energy.
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously this show is called Hoops and Healing. You work for the Chicago Sky, but are there any other sports that you like or that you play?
Yeah, I really like tennis. I enjoy playing tennis. I actually have tryouts coming up the Monday after next for a competitive like tennis group. And so I'm really excited for that. We played tennis actually too.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have tennis is not my sport, but
it
was fun. It was fun to just like casually just hit back and forth. I think that's what you call it, right? Just hitting.
Yeah. And I think like rallying, I just like racket sports. I played squash for a while. I was so spoiled. Somebody who I dated had a squash court in their building, and whenever I just needed to clear my head, I would just go there. I love squash.
I love that. Yeah. I would say I love pickleball. Pickleball is like the one. It's not a racket. It's like a paddle.
Yeah.
But I do love me some pickleball.
I have played pickleball once, and I was playing with people. My issue with racket sports is that I think I'm taller than I actually am. And so it would be going over my head, and I'll like jump up, and I'm like, this would be a great shot if the ball was like
a little bit lower,
12 inches lower.
There was a couple of times when we played when you gave it your all, and it still went clear over.
Yeah, clear over. And I think I'm tall. People tell me I have tall energy, or when I work remotely and I meet people in person, they're like, you're much shorter than I thought.
Tall energy is hilarious. How tall are you?
5'3" and a half.
5'3".
Yeah, and I make that half work. So
yeah, I'm 5'5" 3/4". So this is 5'6".
Yeah,
you can round up.
Yeah, okay. I'm 5'4" actually, everybody, for the record. So
who are your favorite professional tennis players then?
I mean, obviously, we got my girl Coco. Obviously, I love Coco Gauff. And I think generally, I love tennis because it's a sport for me where Black women kind of just dominate the sport. Like, they're really good, and they're great role models, and they're themselves. Even if they're not great role models, I think just the range. Obviously, Venus and Serena Williams, they're so great. And I think... it just inspires me to play tennis more. I don't think I'll ever get to their level, but I could. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I think almost all of the younger Black tennis players now obviously say they were inspired by Serena and Venus. And Coco is a big one. Unfortunately, she lost to Naomi.
Yeah. But it's nice to see.
But she's
Naomi.
younger, right?
She is younger, but
she's got time to grow.
She does have time, and there are two things. I think the first thing with Naomi, it's really cool to see her get back, in action. Like, this was her first Grand Slam since having her baby. And so I think it was really important for her to, have a very strong showing. And so I'm really proud of her for that. I think on the other side of it as well, anything can happen in tennis. And I think that's the cool part of the sport. And I would say the same thing with basketball because we only have so many teams in the WNBA, anything could happen. But yeah, I feel that way with tennis, definitely. I wish sometimes I could watch for longer. Like, I hate it when I'm like, man, I wish they had another
They can
set.
be short sometimes.
They can be short, yeah.
And then other times they can go forever, right?
Yeah.
I'm still learning a lot about tennis and everything.
Yeah.
But I have learned a lot more recently. So yeah, I would say with the WNBA, like even this season, like anyone could win.
For
like,
sure.
Any of the teams could win that make the playoffs, obviously. And I think that's so interesting. It makes it really exciting. Like we were just talking earlier, like the Valkyries could win it. Like a brand new expansion team can win it, which they're probably not likely, but the fact that there's like a little bit of a chance that they could is really exciting. And then upsets. People like upsets.
Yep, they like upsets. They like underdogs. They like heart and fight, and that is what it is. And I think even with the business part of sports generally, we're seeing a lot of brands buy into that. Not only the storytelling and the editorial part of it, but then I think what is going to put butts in seats, and then what is going to get people to pull out their credit cards when they're actually in the stadium. So, yeah. Like
the $100 chicken nuggets, obviously.
The $100 chicken nuggets.
Chicken caviar. Nuggets.
Chicken caviar.
Yeah. It's really the caviar, I'm assuming, that's driving that price up.
You never know. It could be the breadcrumbs. So,
right.
You really never know. Or what is it called? The drink, the honey melon, the honey deuce?
Honey deuce. Yeah, I thought it was honey dew, but it's a play on deuce, which is when you score in tennis, I believe.
Oh, that was what
there's $23.
$23
cocktail for them.
Oh, yeah. And there are certain types of sporting events, though. Like if I'm going to an open or I'm going to like, I don't know, like a golf thing, I already know I'm spending money.
Right.
Yeah. Like it's
going to be overpriced because you have to buy it there.
Yeah. There's a joke about tennis that somebody tells me every single time I see this person, and I'm wearing, my tennis skirt, I have my racket, and he goes, you know why I don't date tennis players? And I say, why? As if you have not told me this joke before. He goes, because they don't have any love to give or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, dude.
Yeah. I was like, it's so, sometimes I like a good, like, dad joke, I guess.
Same. I eat it up every time.
Yeah. So, some of them hit.
Yeah.
Some of them hit. I saw on social media about how Billie Jean King helped create equal pay. And tennis is the only sport that currently has, I believe, the only sport that currently has equal pay between men and women for the singles tournament.
They also, for the U.S. Open this year, I think made history for the highest payout.
And it's obviously a single sport as well, whereas we know for team sports, the pay disparity is much higher.
Yeah.
So I found that really interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Your thoughts on Labubus?
I think Labubus are the 2025 version of Monchichis, of all of the like tchotchkes that we collect. Like Monchichi, I think that was in the 80s. I can't remember.
See, I don't even know that one.
Yeah, but every generation has their Labubu.
Right.
Yeah.
That for sure, like Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi, yeah.
Yeah. What else? Honestly, the Labubus remind me of like Furbies even.
Furbies, yeah. Furbies, yeah. Yeah.
Like it's almost like a Furby and a troll had a child or something.
Yeah, somebody put a Labubu on Karl Marx's grave. And I just think.
That's crazy.
Yeah, well, one, that sentence did not exist before this year. And then two,
that sentence should have never existed.
Yeah, just never. Nobody ever said that.
like rewind.
Yeah, rewind.
Rewind humanity. I did see online that like the CEO who owns the toy company that created the Labubu, like his net worth has skyrocketed.
Whoa.
He has moved up on like the richest person list. He's now like 79th.
I just need one good idea.
I think his net worth went from like 3 billion to like mid 20 billion.
We just need one good idea.
When did you first know you wanted to work in sports? And then how long did it take you to get there?
Yeah, so I had season tickets for the New York Liberty when I lived in New York. And
that's amazing. Barclays is like
it was pretty cool.
Arenas.
It was pretty cool. And I had him with my friend at the time. And I think just being in the arena, like obviously, Chicago won the championship. And I was like dabbling in, women's sports. I did not grow up.
2021.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah. I did not grow up playing sports. I did here and there, but I was always around sports culture. And so I was in Barclays and I was like, okay, y'all got a cute thing going on. I like this a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I started doing my research. And I was like, maybe this is something that I could do. And so I spent a lot of my own money going to All-Star Weekend, going to the Canada game, the first ever Canada game between, I went there too. And I just kept showing up and I said, I don't know how.
Like,
I don't know when.
As a fan,
yeah,
but also like in the back of your mind, you're like intrigued for a potential like career pivot.
Oh, of course. I was finessing my way. Ari Chambers, she had a party during All-Star and I saw her post about it on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, guys, hey, I'm here. And they're like, oh, we don't see your name. And I said, oh, Ari said I should come. And they're like, oh, you're good. And so this is actually wild.
That's crazy.
And so I'm standing in the party, not really knowing anybody. My uncle who works at Wilson, he was, at All-Star Weekend. I think he was going to that party later. It wasn't a party, it's like more of a post-game reception after the game.
Okay.
And so these people come up to me in a group. And the one girl, she instantly clocks me. She goes, I'm not saying you don't look like you belong, but I've never seen you before. And I said, yeah, I snuck in here. And she was like, I love that for you. And it turns out they were all agents at CAA. And I was talking with them. I met some former WNBA players, Chastity Melvin specifically. And that was super cool. And it was just really cool just to be around people who, like, this is their career. I met some journalists. Who else did I meet?
Just people like from all different areas.
Just people.
That's super dope. I love that you also like, you didn't wait. You were like, I'm going to find my way in.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And that's how the difference between, obviously it's a lot of luck as well, too, because it could have said no.
Right.
Yeah.
Security could have packed you up.
I know, right? Packed me up and said, come on, go ahead, log out for me.
Miss 5'4".
Yeah. Miss 5'4". And so at the Canada game, I love telling the story. On the way back, similar, I'm just bopping around solo. I just go to these things alone. Bopping around, minding my business. And on the way home, I'm sitting on the plane. And there's a woman and there's no one between us. And we start talking. I'm like, oh, cool. Just talking. I'm like, so what do you do? Maybe it's not a good story. I'm like, what do you do? She's like, I'm a coach. And I said, okay, cool. What level? She goes, I am an assistant coach for the Chicago Sky. And I said, oh, cool. Okay, cool. And clearly I didn't have, I should have known that if I was trying to make this my job.
Yeah.
And so I like peek my head up and I'm looking around. I'm like, I'm sitting with the coaching staff. And I'm like, this is so cool. But then on the other side of it, I'm like, I should not be sitting next to the coaching staff of a major professional sports team who just won a championship.
Right.
And so, it's something that's been put into perspective, I think. And it's just so many signs that pointed me here. And so to wrap up how I got here, I was working for Kerry Washington doing contract work. And it kind of, got to a point where I had to either, move to LA and continue this or, do something else. And so I don't move. I stay in Chicago. I kind of decide it's not my time to go to New York yet or LA yet.
Okay.
And I'm working at CPS. And that was an experience. I was working in the press office, not really enjoying it. It was cool, I think, to learn a lot about, a major school system that I was, partial product of. But it just wasn't for me. And so I start studying for school to take a test, just figuring out what I want to do next. And I'm on Twitter one day. And I'm just like sitting.
Back to Twitter.
Yeah, I know, right? Back to Twitter. I'm on Twitter one day just scrolling. And I saw someone random. I don't know who it is. I can't find the tweet who basically posted the link to the job.
Okay.
Yeah. And I tell my girlfriend, I'm like, hey, look, like, I cannot believe this is happening. So I go and I apply and I don't hear anything. And I remembered that my uncle had connected me with my now boss maybe a few years ago. Okay. And I emailed her. And I said, hey, my name's Nia. We spoke a few, years ago or months ago, whenever. And I applied. I haven't heard anything yet, but I just wanted to share my information just in case. I think I would be a really good person for this job. And she replies and said, we are looking for people with sports experience, but I'm willing to give you an interview or a conversation. That's all I needed. That really is all I need. Like, I just need to get in front of people and it'll be okay.
Yeah.
And so we talk. It's going well. And I already had tickets to go to a home game. And I said, I'm going to wear my best outfit. That happened to be, I have this tracksuit that is blue and yellow.
Okay.
And so we introduced ourselves. And I promise you, every night I would go to sleep, this job is mine. Like, I said everything short of, this job is mine. You just haven't given it to me yet. And
it's
here we
on
are.
The way. It's on the way.
So here we are.
Yeah. That's a super cool story. And I think, again, it shows that, like, you really had to, you know, go out of your way. Like, you didn't just apply, like, you followed up via email. And I feel like that's so important of, like, don't just apply and then, oh, if I hear, I hear. Like, you have to take those extra steps. I don't know if you have to take the extra steps of, like, sneak your way into a party. But, I mean, if you're dedicated, sometimes you have to do things like that. Yeah. I remember watching an interview with Zendaya. Yeah. Before she was the Zendaya we know and love now, she was like, in the beginning, what I would do is I would put on these, like, amazing outfits and just show up to events that she shouldn't have been at. Yeah. Like, she wasn't invited. And she would just keep doing that. She would, like, show up, look good. So you're mentioning, like, you put the tracksuit on, like, the fit, look good, feel good. Yep. And she said she would do that in the beginning before anyone really knew who she was, before she blew up. And I was like, okay, if Zendaya was doing that, I could do that.
Oh, for sure. My number one piece of advice I'm really big on mentorship. I always tell people, you have to leave your house. You have to leave your house.
You have to leave the house.
Yes, you have to leave your house. You can't just I mean, obviously, we live in the age of the internet, but that can only get you so far. When I was hiring for my coordinator, I looked through over 450 applications, and I actually looked through them. Not everybody does that, but I think it's important because you don't know who you're looking over by relying on systems to bring you people. Right. And, you know, maybe one day I won't have time for that, but leave your house. Yeah. Yeah.
Leave your house, reach out, like, find the people who are hiring on LinkedIn. Yeah. Or social media, like, go to networking events. Yeah. Just chat, because, you never know who you're going to meet.
Do your research.
Yeah. Yeah. Do your research for sure. Because you never know who you're going to meet. Like, you might meet someone at a networking event and they help you get a job, like, 2 years down the road. Yeah. It's really about, like, planting seeds.
Yeah, and you never know who you're talking to.
Yes. Yeah.
Case in point, me on that plane. I should have known who I was talking to.
You were like, high school, maybe college coach.
And I just, like, generally, you know. Didn't know. And I think also, too, had I looked around, I would have known. But when you're on a plane, you're kind of just, like, trying to get to your seat. Yeah. So.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about a typical day in the life of work. So, yeah. So that could be, you know, like, right now the season is wrapping up. So a typical day, like, maybe when you have an in-season game versus like the complete off-season, like, middle of the winter situation.
Well, I'll start with a game day. Usually I wake up, I work, and like, people think I start when the game starts, but I work a full day, more than a full day, because if I'm starting at 8, 9 o'clock, sometimes even earlier, I get home around, if it's a 7 o'clock game, I'll get home around, like, 11:30, midnight, depending on like, if I miss my train because the press conference is taking long. It just really depends. And so I get a little snack. I kind of set up where I sit in the first seat with the content team, and open my laptop, and I'm emailing. It also depends on if I plan that game or not. And so if I plan the game, I'm making sure that everybody and everything is where it's supposed to be. Shout out to Allie, who I work with, who does a lot of our game operations, and Sully and 3 Point Productions. Like, the games would not be what they are without them. And so I've learned a lot from just watching them do their thing, not only how to move quickly and like get things done, but also get them done well.
Efficiency.
Yeah. And so I also manage our influencer program. And so that's me collecting either little gifts that I'm giving to them, or making sure I know where their seats are. And really just going the extra mile to make sure that they have a good game day experience. So I'm getting that out the way. What else am I doing? My interns and my coordinator, they're the ones who do, shout out to them as well. Like, this is a full operation, and none of this would be what it is without them. They do a lot of the question of the day. And while this is also happening, our content team, they're getting, walk-ins, they're getting everything that we end up posting. And then when fans start coming in, they also go around, get content from there too, like with Sky, our mascot. But I'm kind of just focusing and making sure that all of the sponsored content is where it's supposed to be. And we do stat watches. We have to make sure that we know where the celebrities are. Kind of just making sure that before the game starts, like tip off, we can plug and play. And it's a whole operation, but you know, there are bumps here and there, but I think we got a good thing going for game day. And then once the game is over, I stream the press conference, and which is like hard at the same time too sometimes, because I don't know when they're coming in, or if I
when
have
you say stream, is this like on your phone or like on a phone or like?
Yeah, or on my laptop. And so they will have their camera, and the content team will set up their camera and the Zoom, and then I go into the stream and make sure that it's all kind of connected.
Okay, that everything's running smoothly.
Yeah. And so that's kind of a game day.
Yeah, that is what I'm hearing is a lot to do.
Yeah.
Like you start early and you end late. Like technically, you know, as a social media manager, creative strategist, it's a 9 to 5 corporate job, but then it's like you have your 5 to 9, or you even said 5 to midnight after. So this is like a full more than 12-hour day. Especially, obviously, this is in season, right? It's the busy season.
Yeah.
But it's a lot.
It is a lot, and I wouldn't change it for the world, you know? I've been able to meet so many great people. I've been able to connect communities together, and not single-handedly, of course, but that's why I really love my job.
Yeah.
And I work on a lot of the theme nights, and that's also really cool. Learning about new nonprofits and just generally being able to give people opportunities they wouldn't have otherwise. And it's not, Nia gave me this, it's like the Chicago Sky helped me do this, and it's helping the team look better as well too, or the organization. And so I'm really passionate about that. I'm overjoyed with the opportunity I get to do every day.
I love the theme nights too. I think they're very cool. I feel like the superhero one is a favorite.
Working in sports and like having this be our jobs, it's difficult. It's just really difficult talking to people because like for me, for example, I can't be a fan anymore. And you know, obviously I have my favorite players despite the team. They're teams that I love and that I admire. The work that they're doing depending on metric, whether it's like marketing or fan engagement, and that's how I learn and that's how I get better at my job. But at the end of the day, I'm not a fan anymore. Like I have to be professional and I have to act that way. And even on the way over here, we were talking about that with how I have to be very conscious of who I talk to, what I talk to them about. And because I never wanted to come back to me because Nia didn't say, Nia did not say that. Okay. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is really wanting, like, if this is my career, how can I exhibit like good sportsmanship, I guess, as I continue. And part of it is like, I'm always going to speak well about my team. I'm always going to like, I think be considerate with how, team player, never bashing people, you know, online. And this is something that, you know, actually I just worked on something for my actual job with how we come off, because social media moves faster than legality, than etiquette. And you could say something and then look back and say, I probably should not have said that because now I'm talking to my boss about it. So,
right. Yeah. Stuff can spread like wildfire for sure.
Yeah. But it also, I think, is there's a lot of gray area because even at my last job where I worked in social media, but we also did other things, we had a lot of conversations about media and entertainment. And it was really cool because I could bring my interests to work, but where's that threshold? And it's not really a line. It's more like this gray area. Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas if I was a lawyer or doctor, there's no real gray area that way.
Yeah. This job is very like public.
Yeah.
Very public, especially with more eyes on the W than there ever has been before. Yeah. And certain players getting more attention than others. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely public. And so I try to be mindful. And when I was getting ready, I was just thinking about how personally I'm at a crossroads in my personal life and my career. And I'm thinking about purpose. And I even talked with my therapist about not wanting my job to be my identity. It's very important. Like, I am so grateful for my job. And it's not lost on me that I have a lot of people's dream jobs too. And to be a Black queer woman working, it's like a step further. But then again, I also want to be Nia at the end of the day. Yeah, well, one idea I have is to have at every game someone who can customize the T-shirts. I think that could be pretty cool.
I think the players need that too, because I've even noticed they're like cutting their shirts, and I was like, I feel like you should have like a tailor on hand for them.
Well, I said one of them made me look like Soulja Boy. Yeah, I was feeling very Soulja Boy-ish.
Yeah, you were in your mask era.
And my mask era, yeah.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about, I think you've touched on this a little bit, if there's anything else you want to add about how your experience with the Sky has really allowed you to grow your communities in different ways prior to having your role.
I mean, there are a lot of people I wouldn't know if it wasn't for my job. And because it's also so public, I mean, I'm not public. Like, I'm not on, it's not my face.
Yeah, you're a little bit behind the scenes. I see where you sit at the games and stuff.
Yeah, but because I share and my friends talk about that a lot, I think that's why. And even you said, like, people have asked you to ask me for tickets, you know?
Yeah.
I can't, on the record, if my boss is watching, I do not do that.
I also didn't ask. Well, I told you, but I didn't ask you.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of nonprofits, a lot of like DJs, for example, I just want to give people opportunities and connect people who I think should know each other. And so it's cool. I get to do that.
Yeah, booking DJs or like working with local artists to design T-shirts.
Yeah.
That seems like a really cool part of the job.
Yeah.
Like very community based. You can find local artists and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's so great. Like if we could do like at the end of this podcast, like roll the credits of all the people that I've been able to connect with, like it'd be great, you know? It would go on for a second, but like Gratitude Chicago, it's just so... Yeah, like it can't get any better than this. Well, I know it can, but it's just by continuing, you know?
Yeah, you're at a good place.
Taylor's Tacos. I did a series where I say social media manager, but I did a series where I highlighted a range of small businesses and I just wrote about them. And we wrote about them and posted it online, and we were just able to support them. And yeah, it's just that. And it's great being able to talk to various small businesses, whether they're in the food space or there's another like mental health organization that I was able to interview, and just get to know them a bit deeper and just use basketball to promote their message.
Yeah, I think that's what's really great about sports. Like if we were to get at the root of sports and basketball, it's really like community. It brings people together in a way that they would not have otherwise come together. And I think, when people talk about sports or like ask why I love sports, why we love sports, I think it's really like the connection part.
For sure. I mean, so I enjoy skiing. It's kind of random, but I really like skiing. Okay. And last time I went skiing, I was kind of, doing my thing. And I said, it clicked for me why I like sports. One, it makes me feel like I can do anything. Like
Invincible.
I feel invincible. Maybe because I was, barreling down a mountain, but I think even when I see the connections in the community and the bonds that are made through sports, I really respect it.
Can you share any funny, fun BTS stories that maybe a typical fan wouldn't see?
Gotta think.
I know that you met Raven. Is that her name?
Oh, Lene, yeah.
Yeah.
Raven Lene.
So that was cool. Like you get to meet the players to some capacity, and then celebrities that show up to the game. So like Doechii was at the game this season.
Yeah.
A couple
That's
others.
pretty cool. And it's hard because like people have mixed feelings about this, because officially they're like, you're not supposed to take photos with them. You have to go to the back. And some people are like, no, I'm at work. I am not meeting a celebrity. And I get it. But my whole thing is like, we all bleed the same, and I think because I used to work amongst like celebrities and things like that. And even just at my old job at the agency, whether it was like content creators or like other famous people, I'm not saying I'm jaded or like unfazed, but like again, we all bleed the same, and you're not my mom. So like, I don't know, like, and that's just kind of how I feel about it. Obviously, I think it depends on the person. And I think you always want to make sure that people feel comfortable and they don't feel, but also I think a lot of high profile people do want to feel like normal people. But at the same time, they expect like, if I'm so-and-so and I have 20 million followers, I'm making this up. Yes, of course, I do expect a red carpet sometimes.
Right.
And not to have randos who are supposed to be working.
Yeah.
So I don't really do it, but every once in a while I'm like,
I was gonna say if there was like an official policy, since I guess you are at work, so it's a little bit different. Because I know I saw fans like that were sitting courtside or at least had access.
Yeah.
Every time there was a whistle or a timeout, they're going up to Doechii asking for a picture.
For sure, yeah.
And she was being sweet, but I was like, oh, that's probably at some point.
Yeah.
Like she had to keep getting up and then and at one point she just was like, I'm not getting up anymore. And so they just had to bend down.
I know, literally. It's like different when like they do it versus like me if I walked over. And,
right. Because you have like your badge.
Yeah.
And you're like.
Yeah. But, I think you kind of gauge and kind of pick your, I have my favorite one is with Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe.
That's amazing. So, I think I saw that picture on social media. That's I love Sue's podcast. And Megan's too. Sue was just inducted to the 2025 Hall of Fame with Sylvia Fowles.
I have a Sylvia Fowles jersey in my office.
Nice. Yeah, she was a big Sky player back in the day.
I have like 12 championship basketballs right here. Amazing. 2 chairs, my desk. I have a bobblehead, the Black Panther bobblehead. What else do I have? I have a little Australian koala on my thing because I have a coworker who's from Australia. Shout out Michaela. On the top of the file cabinets, I have all of my merch organized. All the t-shirts I have to give away. It was a mess before.
I was going to say, that sounds like a lot.
Yeah. And then in the back, like you would think that I'm running like a black market for the Chicago Sky. And then behind me, I have like another little like wooden thing. And I have a bunch of former players signed cards. I have some player pins from the Blackhawks and I think a Cubs player as well too. I have a book. I have some Barbies. I have all of my mugs and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Like I just have a lot of cool things.
Okay,
and
so
I really like my office. Oh, well.
It's like, let's get a little tour of the office.
Office tour, yeah, right?
How much do you think that's all like worth?
I don't know. I think the signatures are worth a lot.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Some of the balls too, I feel like if they're more like exclusive, you can't get them, or some of the merch, yeah.
You know what the kids are starting to do?
What?
Write handwritten thank you notes. I have
we're going backwards.
5 of them. Yeah.
Aw, that's really sweet.
Yeah, really sweet. There was one, we worked with a college class, and one of the students in the class wrote me a thank you letter.
Aw.
Yeah. And I was like, and mailed it to me.
Okay, wow. See, that takes extra work, so you got to get the stamp.
Yeah.
And then you got to pay for the stamp.
And if she ever like applies, I would be more likely to hire her. I'm going to remember her. Yeah.
She's going to remember that letter I wrote you.
Yeah, it's just so sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually another good tip. Handwrite to the hiring manager a letter.
Yeah.
Don't just send an email.
Or scroll.
That would be crazy. Yeah.
Dear sir or madam.
Anything unexpected from your role that you could share?
And our Latin and Hispanic Heritage Month game last year. And I had like a month to do that. And I was like, this is how I'm going to get to know this job. And so that was cool. Something unexpected. We had a piñata this year, which was pretty cool. It was almost as tall as I am. And I was like, I never thought I would be sweeping up paper off of Wintrust Arena's floor, like piñata, like residue.
Where do you see your career going in the future? Or do you ever think about next steps?
I do all the time. And that's definitely been on my mind lately. And not for any reason. I just always, like I have an old manager who said, you should always be interviewing. And not because you are looking for a different job. I think
just reps.
Yeah,
practice,
just so, practice and
seeing what's out there. That's really smart.
Yeah. But I know school is in the cards, whether I'm trying to figure out what specifically
like
and
masters?
Where. Yes. Okay. That's definitely something that I've been thinking about going back to school. And I also think I would love to be commissioner one day. I would love to work in tennis. I would love to have my own TV show. I would love to own a team. I would love to...
Okay, wait, I need to know, what is your TV show? What's it called? What are you doing?
Do you remember during the pandemic when Cardi B had Cardi B Tries Things?
I don't think I watched that, but I love her.
Yeah, it would kind of be that. And so the theme, or how it all makes sense, is I am just randomly, like it's a kitchen sink.
You're supposed to cook for me.
Oh,
you've been
true,
busy.
I am.
You've been busy.
I need to cook for, oh my God.
The dinner for 2.
Yes, so I have this idea. This is how my brain works, a mile a minute. Side note, I have this idea called Dinner for 2, where I invite 2 people over, and it doesn't matter, and I cook them dinner, like a 4-5 course meal wine pairing and everything. I'm the chef and the waitress, and there's a tiny little.
This is the best part.
Yeah, this is the best part. There's a tiny little chef that sits on my head under my hat that may or may not be helping me cook, but the food's really good.
By the name of Remy.
Yes.
Remy from Ratatouille.
Shout out Remy from Ratatouille. And
best movie ever.
Yeah, best movie
pure
ever.
Pure cinema.
Yeah, pure. It's top 5 movies for me.
Oh, it's up there. It's very good.
Yeah.
And people judge it because it's animated, but
yeah. Maybe this could be this segment is called Kitchen Sink, because top 5 movies in no order: Ratatouille, and I know I have to get back to my TV show. Ratatouille, Bad Education, Mean Girls. What else do I really like?
Mean
watching?
Girls.
Yeah. Hairspray.
Love and Basketball.
Love and
You're like, no,
that wouldn't be. I'm trying to think of the ones that I like watch a lot. Hairspray, definitely.
Hairspray is crazy.
Yeah, I know.
You like musicals. Wait, you're talking about the one with like Zac Efron? One?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Love that one.
All right.
Last movie and documentary. Black Power mixtape. I like that one. I haven't seen that one in a while. But TV show. And so I'm still trying to figure out what it's called and how I make it work from a storytelling standpoint. But for example, if I'm interviewing you, part of it is, us sitting down and we're doing this part of it. But then I'm also kind of transported into your element. We're on the court, like playing basketball. And so you're teaching me stuff, and we're talking about like basketball history and stats and things like that. And then I have another friend who is getting her PhD in physics. And so same thing, like we're kind of interviewing each other. And then, yes, we go into a rocket ship. And I have been to space before in a dream, but we would be in like the lab doing a science experiment.
Okay.
Yeah. And so.
Yeah. Very like interactive.
Yeah. Interactive.
We're doing things.
Yeah. Really like.
I would come on.
Person, place, or thing. An idea. So basically, maybe I can just call it Nouns with Nia, because the noun is a person, place.
I like it.
Idea.
I like it. Copyright it.
Oh, I'm going to be on to something. And then I'm going to tell my mom. She's going to be like, that makes no sense.
She'll humble you really quickly.
Yeah. My grandma will too.
Okay. Last question. We have a couple minutes left. I always end with my closer question, which is, what is your favorite healing practice present in your life right now? It could be like 1 or 2 or 3, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever comes to mind.
So I'll give you 3 categories. The first one is the one that works, and that's ice down my shirt. I'm serious. Like,
yeah,
I have a lot of panic attacks, and I don't know why. I just go. And I know I need to slow down. But whenever I'm feeling anxious, I will put ice down my shirt.
It's like a shock to kind of reset.
Yeah, and it helps my mind like focus now. Like my chest is cold, and
so you put it down the front. See, I assumed you were putting it down the back.
No, I put it down the front. And actually, because the game environments can be a lot for me sometimes, I specifically dress in a way where I can put ice down my shirt and not have a wet, huge blob.
Yeah,
I'm serious. Yeah, and so that one works. And then.
I wasn't sure if that was like a metaphor at first.
Oh,
That's
yeah. No, I
like,
literally.
Ice down your shirt. I wonder what that means. And you were just like, literally.
I was on a plane once, and flying I used to love flying a lot more, but stresses me a little bit. And I'm shoveling ice down my shirt, and the woman next to me turned to me and she goes, "Are you okay?" And we were talking. She was like, "Yeah, I thought you just had surgery or something." But anyway,
I mean, that's fair. You're in a close proximity, and someone. I mean, if someone was doing that, I would just let them be. But I would be in my mind. I'm like, I wonder what's going on there.
Okay. Yeah, I know. It's weird.
No, it makes sense, though. It makes sense.
It really,
And you might be helping someone.
Someone I went to school with taught me that, because I was feeling that, and she was like, that's what I do. And she changed my life with that piece of information.
I might have to try that.
Yeah. And the one I want to get into more is breath work. Definitely breath work. And then I think the last one, the one that really kind of fixes everything for me, is like physical therapy really works. And so like hot tubs, taking a hot shower, just being like warm, really. Like I have a weighted blanket too.
Yeah.
And it just feels
comforting.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I think I'm trying to do all of that more proactively, so I don't have to put ice down my shirt.
Yeah, that's more of like a last resort. Like we got to the brink.
Yeah, like I have stuff to do right now. I'm on my way somewhere, or I'm at work, and I just have to.
Yeah, that's a really good point about being intentional about doing things before you hit a breaking point.
It's hard.
It is hard, yeah, because just life is lifing. But if you can set things into your routine to be intentional, it can go a long way. But it definitely takes time and practice, and people are busy. But like you said, like a hot shower or just like small little things that like can bring you joy or like peace before you like hit the panic attack, if possible.
Yeah. And I think really it's lifestyle changes. And I think also acknowledging that, like, again, being a Black queer woman working in sports is really hard. And it's actually really been getting to me lately. And my question for my quality of life right now is, do I genuinely see a career in this? No matter, I do have a fun job and I love my job, but do I see this? Can I see myself making it to the end in this career and still having myself intact? And I think a lot of people ask themselves that question, whether you're, a surgeon or you're a teacher. Like everyone has this question for different reasons, and trivial questions and more serious questions as well too. But that's a question that's been on my mind lately.
Yeah. Because it's a difficult job. It takes a lot out of you, and you're able to do it obviously because you love it. But yeah, it's just making sure you're able to maintain that balance so you don't full on have a crash out.
The way I see my career, best case scenario, I saw a video on this, is a horseshoe. So right now, I'm going up. I'm in everyone's face right now, whether on LinkedIn or wherever. I'm trying to make my life happen and achieve what I want to achieve. And then I'll be at my peak right here. And then on the way down, I can kind of, take a step back, seclude a little bit, mentor people, help people. I have a nice house on the top of a mountain. And when you see me, almost like Issa Rae and Beyonce, when you see them, they're working or have something that they've been working on, but they don't have to be in our faces as much. And I think that's the key for a lot of Black women of color, because it's hard being in the spotlight. But I also really want to be successful. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But you can come to my house when I get it at the top of the mountain.
Okay. Amazing.
Yeah.